Well, hey there, guys. I'm Axel, the Beast of ZeldaEngine.net, and I want to talk to you about the Lanayru Desert region in Skyward Sword, and specifically how depressing it sometimes is. I mean, more so than, like, any other area in the Zelda series, and keep in mind I'm talking area, not moments or storyline points, just areas in the game, like regions. I think it's by far the most sad. It has a lot of really sad parts. I mean, surely you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you maybe this is only my interpretation, but with that whole region, in the past, like the time shift zones, you got the current desert version. Most of what I'm going to be discussing has to do with the time shift zones, how you activate them and you go back to the past. The thing is that that alone is kind of dark in its own special way, because you have Lanayru Desert as this abundant, natural, life filled with life area. And then it just turns into this freaking desert when you have the time shift zone isn't activated. So it's like a big change. Something bad happened, right? But additionally, there's more to it than that with what actually is going on with that ancient civilization. Now, as I was got onto before I went off track, this might be only my interpretation, but I actually, when I played through the game, this is the first thing that came to my mind. This is literally like my first impression, my first thought about what was going on in Lanayru Desert. This isn't some theory I came up with later. I have no idea if I'm alone in this. That when you go to the past, and the robots, they're happy little robots doing their mining, but then they're talking about they're under attack by the bokoblins. The only thing I can interpret that as is the original Demon War talked about in the game's opening sequence, where the demons attacked attacked the land, and then, Hylia sent the humans and the Triforce up to the sky, and then all the races came to help her fight off Demise and his demon army, which is, what the bokoblins are. So, with that in mind, that probably means that's what we're witnessing in Skyward Sword, because it's the only, at least talked about, event in which the bokoblins are attacking anyone. I mean, maybe there's other situations, but they've never talked about them, so it's like the least assumptions leads it to that conclusion. Meaning that what we're basically witnessing, every time you hit a time shift zone and you look at the past, you're witnessing their civilization as they're in the middle of an attack by an enemy, like the demon army, and they're trying to eliminate them. So this is a culture of cute little adorable freaking robots that's facing immediate extinction, or a risk of extinction. And then you deactivate the time shift stone or walk out of its radius or whatever, and you see the exact product of that. You see the destruction that caused. So what you're essentially is you activate the time shift stone, and sometimes you have to rescue a robot from some bokoblins, but it's meaningless, because essentially you're just glimpsing a doomed culture. I mean, maybe that's only I'm the only one who, and I have no idea how common people have this interpretation of it. I know I'm not the only one, but it actually really struck me. I think that Lanayru Desert was a shockingly emotional area. I think it mattered more than most of the other regions of the game because of this. There was a lot more emotion and point to the entire area. And, the ancient robots are silly little guys, but that also makes them more endearing. And while they're robots, they've established that they have, they have emotions. They have other human traits. But that actually brings me to another point, which is actually the Sand Sea area of Lanayru Desert, because that gets worse. And I'm hoping some of you know what I'm talking about, because this is one area of the game where they blatantly, intentionally made things sad with the music they played in Skipper's Shack. But it's depressing there, because Skipper was an ancient robot, but unlike some of the others, perhaps because they were caught up in immediate tasks, I don't know, was totally aware that this wasn't in his time anymore. He was aware that not only had he, his crew gotten captured, he lost the sand ship, whatever, he was aware not only is that a problem that's going on, but that as a problem that happened a long time ago, and he failed. That's actually like a really depressing, situation for the guy. And, you do get the sand ship back, but there's that whole element, and it gets bigger when you go to Skipper's Shack, and there's that the music playing, and then you're uncovering the shack, and you see several rusted robots. You see messages left to Skipper, talking about how much they cared about him, or how much they enjoyed working under him. And then you even have a thing on the wall in which it says that it's like an ancient robot or whatever talking to Skipper and calling him Dad. So apparently they have kids, you know. But I mean that's depressing, even though the weird robot aspect of it. And then of course there was. I actually almost, like, legitimately cried during that scene. Barely didn't, but I almost did. You know, Skyward Sword has some legitimately emotional moments, but that was a big one for me, and I think that it just makes the region a very interesting place. One of the coolest places in Skyward Sword, and definitely one of the best desert regions of the series. So, I don't know, I thought that was really fascinating. I'm interested if anyone else felt the same. Did you feel that Lanayru Desert was like a really sad area, or at least a emotional area? Did you think it was kind of that deep, or do you think I'm reading way too much into it? I mean, it was a very striking area for me, and I think that that's something that I think a lot of Zelda games could learn from, having that deep story to an area. I mean, you don't have to have the time shift stone, you know, ancient history kind of thing going on to have some interesting stuff, and I just think it was fascinating. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later.